Hey guys, and welcome to Diving Down Under. In today's episode, I'm going to be looking at changing a battery in a Suunto Cobra 3. So before we start, the things you will need will be a Phillips head screwdriver, a CR2450B battery, some dive grade silicone grease, and a spare Suunto O-ring in case your other one is damaged or torn. So I'm going to be using my Suunto Cobra 3, and as you can see, I've already removed the screen and two of the screws from a previous video. So the first thing you need to do is remove all 4 screws out of the back of the computer. Now just remember to keep your screws together, because if they fall on the floor, I swear to God they go into a different dimension and they're never found again. Now to get the back off, you basically just pull it from the front and lever it off nice and gently. Let down. Now the easiest way to get the computer out is to bend the front of the case off the front of the computer and then just lift it out like so. Once the computer is out, we can then look at taking the back case off. Now with the case, it just twists and then lifts out. So it's easy enough to get your 2 fingers on, press down slightly and twist, like so. It's then easier to turn the computer on its back and then let gravity do the work for you. As you can see, it's quite fiddly. So on its back and then just let the gravity pull it out. Now the inner bit can be a little bit of a pain, so you need to get your fingernails underneath and slowly lever it off. The battery and everything should fall out. After this, you need a lint-free dry clean cloth. This is just to wipe the exterior and any sand that might have just dropped into the seal, or any water in fact that may have gone into the battery case while your computer has been diving. Make sure you get really deep into it and get all the dirt and everything out of the computer. Now if you intend on reusing the O-ring, take it off the backplate and give it a thorough inspection. We're looking for any cracks, tears, damage, or just general wear in the rubber. Stretch the seal while you're doing it. It sometimes lets things expose themselves. Now you also want to give the back plate a thorough clean. So again, with your clean lint-free cloth, wipe all around the sides, where the seal sits especially, on the inside and the outside of the plate. Now you can grab hold of your silicone grease. Again, make sure it is a diving grade silicone grease. Don't use any old grease because it may affect the rubber seal. Now I'm just going to give it one last check over, give it a bit of a stretch, a bit of a pull, make sure I can't feel any irregularities within the seal. You then want to take the tiniest little bit on the end of your finger, and I mean the tiniest little bit. You can see, tiny, right? And then you want to run it into the seal and rub it all the way through. So twisting the seal, pulling it through your other hand, make sure that it gets all around the seal, and the seal is an even coat of silicone grease. Once you've done this, you can then place the seal on the back plate. Make sure the seal is firmly sat in its position. If it's kinked or creased, it may allow water to be leaked through. Once you're happy with this, you can take the battery, your new battery, and make sure you don't fingerprint it. If you do, give it a bit of a wipe with the cloth before placing it inside the back of the computer. Make sure the positive of the battery is facing up towards you and that the battery is sat nice and neatly within its little case. Taking the back plate, make sure that the O-ring is still on the back plate correctly. Place the back plate on top of the battery and give it a bit of a push. Make sure that it's seated correctly, that the O-ring isn't kinking out or it's not quite sitting straight, or there's something stuck in the battery case that's preventing it from being seated. Once you've done that, you can let it go. It will pop out a little bit, but that's no worries. We can get hold of the back plate keeper. Put your finger through the middle of it to push the back plate firmly onto the battery case. And then once you do that, you can twist the back plate and it will lock securely. Give it a bit of a check and then flip the computer over and it should be displaying something. Now you will need to set the time and you will need to set the date. So if you go into your mode button until it says time, press and hold the down button and it'll get you into time settings. Scroll across to time and press select. You can then use the up and down arrows to set the time accordingly. Once the time is set, you can then press select and then it'll go back to the main menu. Move across to date, press select to enter and use the up and down arrows to set the correct date. After it's set, press select to confirm and then the mode button to return back to the time. Now to replace the front screen protector in the case, you simply bend the case back and it literally falls out. To put it back in, it's pretty much the opposite. Place the top of the screen back into the little locating holes at the top of the case and then take hold of the case, bend it down and press the screen back into the locating holes at the bottom, while slowly letting the case come back to its original form. Flip the case around and then take hold of the computer. Flip the computer around and place the pipe end in first, and then bend the case down and place the little catch on the top into the top of the case. Take hold of the back of the case and then clip that in, starting with the front and then pressing on at the back. The case, you'll feel, will just clip into position. You can then take hold of the screws and screw the case back together. And as you can see, I'm literally Superman doing this at stupid speed. It's great. After that, you can flip the case over, have a look, check your buttons are working, and if they are, all's good to go. Give it a try dive. I would, however, recommend that you do get the computer pressure tested just to ensure that you've done the battery change correctly. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you found this video useful. If you would like to know more about the Suunto Cobra, check out the other videos about the operation, the mixed gas settings, you name it, it's there. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again.